Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video we're going to be doing some shorter term analysis on Bitcoin because in today's video I'm going to be showing you why I personally believe a bullish Bitcoin breakout may be coming in the next 24 hours, and honestly it may have already happened by the time this video was edited and uploaded. As you guys can see on the chart here, Bitcoin has been trading sideways into this triangle consolidation pattern for the last several days, and especially over the last 24 hours or so, guys, Bitcoin has been hitting its head up here against resistance over and over again. Even right now, we are trying to break bullish out of it. I'm very confident that we're going to see a major move on Bitcoin today, but just because we're moving to the upside at the time of recording this does not actually mean that we are guaranteed to have a bullish breakout. So in today's video, I'm going to lay out the bullish and the bearish case, and I'm also going to tell you guys about a red flag I felt in my gut earlier, where even if we do break bullish out of this, it might not be as good as we were hoping. I'm not trying to spread FUD, I'm not trying to rain on the parade, but I do want to make sure we're aware of all of the relevant factors. So in today's video, we will be discussing all of those relevant factors on Bitcoin. So if you're looking to trade this market, I highly encourage you to finish watching this video. It may be the most important video you see all day, because not only are we going to be discussing the breakout and what we think is going to happen over the next 24 hours, I'm also going to be discussing what's going to happen after the breakout, because the breakout's one thing, but what comes next is the more important question. So guys, if you do enjoy today's video, make sure to watch all the way to the end. And as you know, likes are always appreciated and subscribers are always welcome, so consider hitting both of those buttons down below. And before we dive on into it, I want to thank you guys because we launched the first cohort a little over 2 weeks ago, and we already have 44 people in it. And because of the first cohort, I was able to give Taylor a raise right now just before Christmas, an early Christmas present. It's because of you guys in the first cohort. I really do thank you guys. I've been wanting to do that for a while. It was possible before, but it might not have been financially sustainable. Now it is because of the first cohort. That's why we launched this. Right now, every penny that the first cohort is making is not going into my pocket, it's going into Taylor's pocket, who edits this video. A lot of you guys don't even know who she is. She's the one having to listen to my dumb face every single day. It's because of the community over here in the first cohort and the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, we're able to continue making videos. So I thank you guys that have joined both of those programs. They're both linked down below if you want to get amazing quality content at a low price while also helping to support these daily free uploads here on YouTube. But anyway, guys, without much further ado, let's actually dive into the technical analysis. And would you look at that? Bitcoin goes ahead and throws out all my video plans by breaking bullish right now. Oh my gosh, look at that. Jeez, dude, we're trading at $7,430. We're going to continue making the video here because I think it's really funny when Bitcoin has a breakout while we're recording the video. And I'm going to go ahead and move quickly through the shorter term analysis based on the breakout because it looks like we're breaking bullish right now. Because the main thing I want to talk about in this video anyway was what happens after we break bullish or bearish. Before we dive into what I think is going to happen next on Bitcoin, though, we need to go over the different technical factors affecting this market at the moment. One of the big ones that I'm loving watching right now is the MACD. On the hourly chart, we're crossing bullish right now. On the 4-hourly chart, Bitcoin has been bullish for a few days now, and for good reason. On the daily chart, Bitcoin crossed bullish about 5 or 6 days ago and has started to diverge bullish in the last 2 days. That's a good sign. And even out here on the weekly chart, guys, Bitcoin is bearish, but it just put in a green candlestick here on the monthly chart, and it's looking like it wants to start converging bullish. I don't want to spend too much time on MACD because we've already talked about it quite a bit here on the channel, but I do want you to understand that MACD is looking very bullish on the 4 major time intervals that I like to look at. Another technical that we need to look at, guys, is what the market itself is actually doing. Yes, sometimes it's a good idea to look at how the market itself is trading. As you guys will well know, Bitcoin has been in this consolidation pattern for the last couple of weeks. And you will probably also know that normally a consolidation pattern is going to break out between 70 to 85% of the way through the pattern. So that's probably somewhere around here to right here. And that's really interesting because Bitcoin did try to break out here, but it didn't work. Bitcoin broke bullish, fell over Bart Simpson, and rallied right back up here. And over the last 2 or 3 days, Bitcoin has been doing something very important in the market. Bitcoin has been trading primarily and exclusively against the downtrend of resistance. It hasn't even come down to touch the support. If you guys will remember from the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy in the support and resistance video up here in the introductory section, we talk about that concept of Bitcoin trading against the level of support or the level of resistance, and which one it trades against is very important because it normally will give you an indication as to which direction the market is going to break. And as you guys can see, we've been trading primarily against the resistance. We went up here and tested it. We'll just call this once, even though that looks more like 5 or 6 tests. Twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8 right now, and we're above it again. We've got above this downtrend many, many times. Look at all these wicks right here, not even including this gigantic one over there. Bitcoin is very clearly trying to break to the upside. I've been talking bullish on Bitcoin for several days now, and there's a reason I have. It's because the technicals are looking like we're putting a bottom in. But wait, it's not over yet. Because before we go any farther, I need to go ahead and get off my chest that bit of a red flag that's been concerning me here for the last couple of days. It's twofold. It's based on two different things. The first thing is this. The longs chart. Guys, this is something that is very interesting. The longs have been rallying for the last 13 days. We're up 50%. That is nothing to write off. That is extremely important. And while I think the longs rallying is a sign that we're close to the bottom, it's also a sign that those longs could get slaughtered, and we could be looking at something called a long squeeze, where the longs start to fall. That causes Bitcoin's price to drop, which causes other longs to get stopped out, which causes more selling pressure, and then you see a massive cascade of liquidated and stopped out longs, causing Bitcoin's price action to fall. So right now, guys, we're at a very decisive moment because Bitcoin's longs are very, very high, and a lot of those longs are going to have stop losses right in this region right here, which means that's very important, guys. If Bitcoin does come down here and test this level of support, if it breaks below just a little bit, like we did right there, for example, or if we have one of these numbers happen to the downside, it's going to liquidate probably 10 or 20,000 longs, and it's going to cause a gigantic long squeeze and cause Bitcoin to crash. If you don't believe that that is a real possibility, let me show you the last time we saw a major squeeze on Bitcoin. It was actually a short squeeze. It wasn't a long squeeze. You have to go back pretty far here, but on April 12th of 2018, we saw a gigantic move. We're on the 4-hourly chart because we can't go back any farther, but we moved 18% in the span of 4 hours. It was actually more like 5 minutes. I just can't get that chart resolution this far back in time. And if we look back to that time here on Bitcoin's shorts chart, Bitcoin shorts dropped 37% in the span of about 5 minutes. And when those got liquidated, it caused a massive amount of buy pressure to rally Bitcoin. The same thing can happen in reverse with longs. So yes, Bitcoin is looking bullish right now, but guys, something you have to understand is that Bitcoin needs to be looking bullish right now. Because if Bitcoin doesn't look bullish right now, and those longs start getting liquidated and stopped out, it's going to cause a cascade, and it could very easily cause Bitcoin to fall all the way down here to $6,400. I'm not trying to FUD you, but I want you to understand the ramifications of a failure to break bullish here. It's going to result in more than likely a double bottom down here. Furthermore, guys, I want to show you something that happened on the Ethereum chart not too long ago. Back in June of this year, and also back over here in April of last year, we saw Ethereum on the US dollar chart move into these consolidation patterns right here. They broke bullish and then they broke bearish. As you can see, we broke 28% to the upside on Ethereum here, but it didn't really matter because the Ethereum chart fell over and started to move to the downside following that movement. A very similar thing can happen to Bitcoin here, guys. I want you to understand that just because Bitcoin breaks bullish here and moves up 5 or 10% does not by any stretch mean that we are out of the woods yet. Bitcoin has still not confirmed a new uptrend. And the reason I'm talking about all this is because I've been very bullish on Bitcoin the last few videos, and I feel like I haven't necessarily given enough justice to the bear. So I want to make sure you guys understand both sides of the story. There is potential for Bitcoin to fall over here, even though it looks like we're going to have a bullish breakout. So those longs being so high is one of the things that concerns me. Another thing that concerns me, guys, is that even though Bitcoin's trying to put a bottom in, check this out. Look at this. Bitcoin had a very steep downtrend right here, especially as we moved further towards the bottom. But in the last couple of weeks, ever since Bitcoin put this bottom in down here on the 24th, Bitcoin has had about that steep of an uptrend. That's not really anything that impressive until we get a major breakout and we're up here trading around like $8,400, $9,000, maybe $10,000. I don't feel like we have confirmed a bullish breakout until we see Bitcoin moving above those levels of resistance. That's why I discussed the 20 EMA on the daily and the weekly chart in the last several videos. I want to see Bitcoin get above those. So yes, guys, I think a Bitcoin breakout is coming today, and frankly, I think it's probably going to happen before this video even goes out, unfortunately. But everything I said in this video is going to be relevant no matter when you watch this video, before or after the breakout. You need to understand something. Breakouts are temporary moves. They allow for Bitcoin to move very quickly, but when it moves very quickly, it reestablishes the market. It reestablishes the bulls and the bears. And if Bitcoin is going to fall over, if Bitcoin does actually have more bearish pressure than we're giving it credit for, and we're being propped up by a lot of hype in the longs chart, then it could very easily be that Bitcoin breaks bullish here and then quickly falls right back over. I've seen it happen so many times, guys, and it's something you need to be prepared for. So before we wrap the video out, let me ask you a question. Are you going to trade this market? If the answer is yes, here's what you need to do. If the answer is no, then just watch and learn. But if you are going to trade this market, here's what you want to do. Make sure you have an entry position far enough away that one of these little wicks that are jumping up above the resistance isn't going to catch you. After you get into your entry position, you should have already known where you're going to take profit. $7,750. This red level that I have right here is a pretty decent zone. A little bit below it to make sure you catch anything that doesn't go quite to it. And then another price target up here if you want to hold on to the trade for maybe a week, right below the 20 weekly EMA, which is sitting over here. If and when you do trade this breakout, make sure you have a tight stop. The reason is if Bitcoin does break to the upside here, you can bet your bottom dollar we're probably going to go to an all-time high on the longs chart, and if Bitcoin starts falling at all, some of those longs are going to start getting liquidated and stopped out. This is where the idea of contrarianism comes in. You guys know that I'm more of kind of a tactical contrarian because just being a contrarian in general is normally a bad idea in my opinion. But right now I think it's a decent concept. Be careful with this market. Use a stop loss. Make sure you have either a trailing stop loss or a well set stop loss. Make sure you are trading this market in real time. I'm looking forward to a breakout here, guys, but I'm going to tell you something. My gut is one of the most valuable resources I have in real life and here in cryptocurrency. It's been well trained, and while my gut is telling me that based off of what I see right now, that might change in 4 hours, but based off of what I see right now, it looks like we're going to have a bullish breakout. Something in my gut also tells me, be cautious, make sure you're using a tight stop loss, make sure you're giving this market even more caution than you normally would, because we're in kind of a precarious situation here. It's hard for me to explain. I've been trying all video, but it's just be careful. Trust me on this. Things could go sideways here. And I promise you guys, I'm not saying that to clickbait you. I'm saying this at the end of the video because I didn't want to get you guys freaked out unless you watch the whole video. This is definitely a place where we could put a bottom in and we could start a new uptrend. And nothing I've said in the last 4 videos I am changing my tune on. But I am telling you guys to be careful. But anyway, guys, no matter what happens, let me tell you something. You're going to be all right. There are a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space. Something bad happens. They lose a lot of money. Maybe they had their account hacked. Maybe they lost some Bitcoin in a bad trade. Maybe they used 100x instead of 10x and then lost everything, got liquidated. Whatever it is, sometimes there are people that have something bad happen to them and they give up. Guys, I'm reading through the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill right now. You've probably heard of that book. It's basically the Bible for entrepreneurship. And in that book, one of the concepts that Napoleon Hill talks about is the idea of failure. Excuse me for the choppy cut. I wanted to go and get the actual book real quick so I could read from it. In the book, Napoleon Hill says, success requires no apologies. Failure permits no alibis. If the thing you wish to do is right and you believe in it, go ahead and do it. Put your dream across and never mind what they say if you are met with temporary defeat. For they perhaps do not know that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent success. Guys, as you continue working in the market here, no matter what you do, whether or not you retain your profitability or if you fall into unprofitability, if you want to be successful in this market, you need to understand that with every failure brings the seed of success. With every failure brings the ability to learn a lesson and not make that same mistake again. Any single liability can be turned into an asset if you twist your mindset to treat it as such. So guys, no matter what Bitcoin does here, no matter if you become profitable and make money on this trade or if you trade it incorrectly and you lose money, remember that cryptocurrency markets and markets in general are tools. They're tools that move wealth from those who are impatient to those that are patient. They are tools that move wealth from those who have accepted failure to those who will never accept failure. And with that said, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.